Diamonds are forever. They are all I need to please me.
This is one of the better mangas that I've seen come out so far. I cannot wait to add it to that shelf when it finally gets on print. So basically, 15-year-old Jack Kakujo, or it's Kakuju. So I'm just gonna say Kakujo. Basically, he's a stickler full of rules. He's coming home, and his little sister, who just had surgery to add legs on, is throwing him a birthday party. Now, all hell breaks loose, so to speak. So he's at his little sister's at, their house doing the party with her two friends, and then she goes to like a door to go get something else. Something happens, and it turns out all these prosthetic eyes, legs people will get are turning them into monsters. So she butchers up and cuts up her two friends and puts them into the cake, and then serves it to her brother, who I would say isn't a normal teenager, seeing as how he jumped on a car from a bridge just to stop to give him your candy. It's like, here's your trash. Now go dispose of it the way you're supposed to. I thought that was totally insane. And seeing as how his own mother tried to kill him as a child was, up here, that's going to affect him mentally. So basically, this organization comes out to save him, and apparently one of them's been following him home. So they pretty much know what's going on. So they sit into the shadows, and if you turn into a monster, they freaking cut off your limbs. And apparently, they were almost turned into monsters themselves, seeing as how some of them have robotic parts. So after watching his sister, quote-unquote, murdered in front of him, even though she tried to kill him, he wakes up in a hospital bed with all his limbs gone. And I was like, dude, I'm like, well, they could give you limbs, but you might not want them. You could possibly die from having them. So it's like, what are you gonna do? He's been in bed for about 2 months, so you need to figure out where you are and what you're gonna do with your life. It's just totally horrible. So I want to take a little break from telling about the story. Let's talk about the art for a little bit. This has great reference material for young aspiring artists, and take notice of the shadows and how the absence of the screen tones that emphasize light. It's really good. I wish more manga did this, because if you noticed, it usually depends on the artist's art style, but having shadows in any art that gives some depth to it always makes your art look a lot better. So just take a look at that. Now to finish off the story. So at the end, he's talking to a doctor who's very feminine with his looks, very has a slight perversion to his personality. So chances are we're going to see a lot more of this character. And one of the females kicks over someone's parfait, and he's like, hey, and she doesn't really care. I really see this series, going places for the sole fact that you have great cliffhanger in both chapters, especially at the end where one of the monsters was the Siamese twin that they had killed, and the main character sees this as he's whittling away in his chair because he really don't want nothing to do with the organization. I wouldn't either. I wouldn't want to get into that world. I wouldn't want parts that will make me into a monster like my sister, and they possibly have to come kill me. So basically, great art, great cliffhangers to keep you reading, and you have a slight backstory to the main character, and that the fact that it's not like, oh, here's a little cute power up from like some mangas that are out, and you can kind of tell that each chapter is slowly adding more and more to the story. But we're only 2 chapters in. Only time can tell. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm going to continue doing reviews of this. So I'm probably not going to do single chapter reviews because it's not really much. I'm going to do them every 2 chapters so you can get more of a feel of the story than just doing like a 3-minute video while I hype everything up and not really have much to talk about. So stay tuned for more, and sketch erase subscribe.